Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Something a little different. We're going old school. We're putting together a skateboard deck. This should be kind of fun. Hey everybody, at BV Batson here. A little different video today in celebration of the channel reaching 20,000 subscribers. That absolutely blows my mind. A Keep On Wrenching member sent me a little gift, and it is an old school skateboard, man. I'm actually super stoked about this. Why would I be so excited about a skateboard? Well, because back in the mid to late 90s, this was my jam. So many great times hanging out with my best friend, skating, skinning our knees, catching rocks, doing all the things skateboarders do. And now, at 45 years old, I gotta be honest, I've been feeling a little nostalgic. So let's put this damn skateboard together. Let's see if I remember how. The kit comes from CCS, a name I'm very familiar with from my past, and it comes with everything you need to get your skateboard ready to roll. I can't thank Keep On Wrenching member Brad for sending this incredible gift. It's a blast from the past, and honestly, it's probably where I really got into wrenching. Here's everything you need for a good skateboard. Of course, you're going to need a deck. This is a Cheapskates deck, and I gotta tell you, I love this logo. It's got an old tube TV, two-tone color, and an awesome black stripe right down the middle. And just like from my era, it's got double kick on it. So you can go front or back with this thing. It's a little bit wider than what I'm used to, but I think that's good for my advanced age. You're also gonna need a pair of trucks. These are CCS trucks, and they say they are called raw. So these are going to be really a nice match set. We got trucks. We also need wheels. Right here I've got Ricta Clouds all-terrain skateboard wheels. These are a lot bigger than the ones I used to ride on in the mid to late 90s. We had skinny wheels, little tiny wheels back in the day. But I'm telling you, these are going to be great. These are 86A. This kit came with 8 Bones bearings, Bones red skateboard bearings. These say that these are for competition, so I'm going to be hooked up real good. The kit also came with 4 bearing spacers. We'll get to those in a second. We also got all of our hardware. We're going to need our 8 connector bolts. These are locking washers on here. Absolutely key, but we've got all of our hardware. And these are a bit of a luxury. I don't think I ever had silencers on a board back in the 90s. These are Duke's anti-vibration gaskets. These basically mount between the trucks and the boards. We're getting too fancy now. And lastly, and actually super important, we've got a run of grip tape. We'll have to attach this to the top of the board. I don't know why, but I'm getting excited about putting this board together. This is nostalgia, familiarity, and just a lot of good times ahead. Probably one of the most tedious parts of putting a skateboard together is getting this grip tape attached to the deck. Now, this is really tight. There's not a lot of overlap. I've got just a couple millimeters width to play with, so I'm going to need to make sure that I get this on really straight. I got a little bit more leniency on the ends, but I'm going to have to go real straight side to side. Let's see. If we screw it up, we try it again. We go get some more grip tape, but hopefully it's not too bad. This stuff is essential for you to be able to do pretty much anything with your board. I am just going to peel this back a little bit, just like this. And then again, you just need to make sure we're getting this really straight on here. I'm going to double check before I push it down. And I'm going to pull it back, over. And now I'm kind of committed at this point. Just going to kind of push this material down. Now with this side, because I've kind of folded this back, slowly start to pull my grip tape back and kind of push this stuff down as I go. Oh my God. I forgot how stressful this was, because you want to get it perfect. You can pull it back up a little bit if it gets a little bit wonky, but you do kind of want to keep it moving And I'm just going to keep kind of pushing this down. Looks like I got it on the center. Oh, man, I'm getting stressed out. I just really want you to see what I'm doing here. I've got my grip tape coming back through. And as I'm pulling the adhesion off the back, I'm just kind of working my hand underneath to make sure I'm getting a good layer. And I'm just pulling this out, getting this set up real nice. We're getting towards the end here. It's looking pretty good. I don't see any crazy ripples or anything. And I got it all the way to the edge, which is what I was worried about. Let's keep moving it. And bada bing, bada boom. Look at that. Once you got your grip tape on nice and tight, I always like to go around the edges and just kind of get this to curl in just a little bit, just to make contact with the rest of the board. Probably not even going to have to trim this edge. That's like right up on the edge. But then I can spin it around. Just going to try to get as much, you don't have to go all the way down the edge, but just a little bit on this edge to make sure you've got some good connection with that board. Feeling good about this. This is looking great. Now we got to trim the grip tape, and a lot of people will just go and use scissors and cut around it. That's a great way to dull a pair of scissors or dull a knife. So I actually don't like to use that. Back in the day, I would always use a flat file. So to get the flat file going, I might just use my scissors just to cut a little nick in the grip tape right there. And then I'll take my flat file, peel the material, working it down as much as you can, break through that grip tape, get a hold of the material, and this is the key. It's hard to do on camera, but you're going to take your flat file and you're going to drag it down across the board. And once you get like a little tail like this, you're going to be able to take your flat file and just drag that down. And what happens is you get a really nice edge here. So let's keep working this flat file around this edge. I've got it at a little bit of an angle, probably about a 45-degree angle. I'm pulling back on the grip tape. I'm just pulling it down. I'm pulling the material down and almost kind of bleeding it into the wood. You're just going to work your way all around the board like that. You get a really nice connection here. Kind of smooths it out along the edge. This part of the process brings back a lot of memories for me. I remember being down in my dad's little basement shop, just trying to get this right so many times. And this is such a satisfying process, laying new grip tape on a skateboard deck. Again, I'm just kind of working my way around with the flat file. I'm gonna go all the way around. Just start cutting her off just like this. You're gonna save your scissors, you're gonna save your knives, and you can just start working your way. Let's get this all off. All right, so we got most of the tape off, and we did pretty good all the way around. Look at that nice edge here. But there's gonna be spots, right? Just go ahead and use your flat file and clean up these spots and get them nice and smooth. Really simple. There's almost something kind of, I don't know, religious or ceremonial about putting grip tape on a freaking deck. Look how nice that cleans up. It's nice and it's just perfect when you use the flat file. We can go all the way around. I got one more little spot here. Grind that off. Just like that. This is the most, time-consuming of the processes of putting this board together. All right, we've got our grip tape installed, and that looks fabulous. Let's get some trucks attached. To attach your trucks, you're going to need to punch a few holes through this newly laid grip tape. I always found that just a simple nail would do the job. All right, you're just going to flip your board over, grab your nail, and make some punctures through to the other side on the grip tape, okay? Swirl it around a little bit. Make your life easier when you go ahead and do that. Flip it over to the other side. Poke her through there just like that. And now we're going to be able to start mounting some bolts. From this point, go ahead and grab one of your screws. These are Phillips on these. Sometimes they come with like an Allen head. But yeah, just take each one and just go ahead, kind of work it around a little bit. Might have to get a little aggressive, but start poking all 8 of your bolts through that grip tape all the way to the bottom. Before we slap our trucks on, go ahead and grab one of your silencers, and you're just going to slide this right over these 4 bolts. Kind of helps to hold the bolts from the other side. Then you're going to grab your truck, and just remember that your bolt, your adjuster bolt for your bushing, is going to go on the inside. So I'm just going to go ahead, slide this all together just like this, and line up my silencer underneath the truck so it's not like hanging out over one end. Then I'm going to grab one of my locking nuts. I'm going to go ahead and kind of loosely just get these all started. Now we're getting into some wrenching. Is this the origin of keep on wrenching? I don't know. And once you've gotten to that point, go ahead and go grab yourself a 10 millimeter. You could use a wrench. I happen to just have a ratchet here ready to go. And then grab yourself a Phillips screwdriver. Go ahead and seat your screwdriver on the other side. And then just slowly start tightening these up. Make sure that your silencer pad is lined up nice. The good thing here is that these are locking nuts, so no need for any kind of thread locker or anything like that. Just go ahead and tighten all these up real good. One little note is that you want to make sure that you get this screw, this top part of the screw, as flush as possible with the top. You don't want this thing popping up at all. You want it nice and flush, so keep tightening. And that is what you're going for, nice and flat. Now it's time to install some bearings. We've got our bearings here. There's a red side on this. And here's your wheel. You can kind of pick, if you just want white wheels on the outside, I think you can just install it that way. I'm going to keep the red lettering on the outside. What I did was I went and found a socket. This is an 18 millimeter. And it actually lines up perfectly with this outer edge on the bearing, the outer edge. You don't want to put any pressure on the inside edge of the bearing. So like this red area or this inner area, you don't want to put a lot of pressure on those. So find yourself a socket that fits this perfectly. Then what you're going to do is you can grab your wheel. I'm going to go red side out just because it's going to look freaking cool. Lightly push that in, okay? It's going to seat just like that. I'm going to take my socket and a hammer, and I'm just going to gently, might take a little force, but I'm going to push that in. And you'll see if you look down inside there, that bearing is now seated all the way in there. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to grab one of your spacers. You're going to drop one of your spacers in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab another bearing. We're flipping it over on the other side. Here it is, red side out. I'm going to just gently put that on there. Okay. Make sure that we don't fall off. One thing you can do to make sure that that little spacer stays where it's supposed to, so you can actually go ahead and install this like that, keep it lined up, and then you can take your socket and give that a couple little hits, and there we go. So that is installed. So I'm going to go ahead and install this way, but we'll get to that in a second. I got 3 more wheels to do. Take your time and make sure that each of those bearings get seated all the way down. Otherwise, you're going to run into problems. And we are nearing the finish line. One little thing to watch for after you install your bearings is that when you spin your wheel, make sure it's not like teetering, all right? If it's teetering or you're hearing some grinding or something, the bearings probably aren't all the way seated on one side or the other. So just watch that. Time to mount the wheels. And what you're going to see is 2 really small washers and a locking nut on the outside. So go ahead and pull that locking washer off. Pull off one of your washers and then grab one of your wheels. Orient it the way that you want. You're going to leave this washer on. You're going to go ahead and mount that wheel. And then you're going to take this other washer, put that on the outside, just like this. Then you're going to put your locking nut on there, just like that. Don't forget those washers. Next, you're going to grab yourself a 15 millimeter, And you're gonna go on to that locking nut, and you're gonna slowly start to push this on there. Give your wheels a little bit of a spin as you're doing this. You don't have to go gargantuan tight. Again, this is a locking nut. What you want is a really smooth, silent wheel that doesn't wobble, okay? You don't want to go too tight either, though, because it can stop the spinning of your wheel. This feels just about right, but you'll see if I go too tight, actually, it doesn't matter with that spacer. I can crank these on. They're perfect. These are some nice bearings. Look at that. We're on the home stretch. Get excited, wrenchers. And just like that, we've got ourselves a fully completed and assembled skateboard. Just one last thing to do. Every skateboard needs a sticker. And if you want one of these Keep On Wrenching stickers, head on over to keeponwrenching.com. But if you don't put a sticker on your board, are you even doing this right? So here we go. Let's put a Keep On Wrenching sticker right there. That'll be super cool. And then just kind of a little pro tip. If you have a particular sticker that you really want to protect, like let's say this CCS sticker, go ahead and put those kind of underneath your truck. That way, you're not going to scratch them up quite as badly as if you put them right in the middle of your board. So go ahead and do stuff like that for the special stickers. But I kind of like that Keep On Wrenching one right there. So there you go. That's how you assemble a skateboard deck. I absolutely love it. If you want yourself one of these Keep On Wrenching stickers, just head on over to keeponwrenching.com. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe. And if you like this kind of stuff, head on over to Keep On Wrenching community group on Facebook. Hope you enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun making it. We'll see you in the next video or live stream.